So I'm ready to take the frisket the rest of the way off his monocle. I want to see what that looks like. Huh, it's interesting. It's always interesting. It's always an adventure when you take the frisket off. I need to take it off the glass part as well. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to do a couple spots of glow. Main one up here. That might be enough. One here. And another one here. And I believe I'm going to do just a slight glow down the edge. Okay, I'm glad I did that. That'll work. There are just a couple more things I need to do to this monocle to finish it. One is I want to give the indication of glass up here. And another is I want to sharpen the shadow of it just a little bit. And so what I'm going to do for the shadow is I'm going to go back to one of my, what I would call a photocopy, even though you understand it's not a photocopy anymore, it came off my printer. I'm going to go back to my photocopy of the drawing, and I'm going to, here's where I'm going to cut out, right there. It was in my original drawing, and I believe that'll line up pretty closely with what I've got going here. And I'm going to cut that out and use that as a handheld mask for the shadow of the monocle on this man's cheek. The colors I'm going to get are shading gray, just a couple drops of that, and the red oxide. Mix it in the cup with my brush. It gives me a nice now, I don't want this to be too sharp. I'm going to be very I believe that's enough. That's not very much, is it? And I'm using transparent colors here, which means you need to be very careful. I'm not using the color stop method. Do you understand? Where I would mix up a color, memorize it, write down the recipe and all that stuff. I'll do that later again. But for now, I'm using transparent, which means it wouldn't be too difficult to get too dark. I think I'm going to let it go at that. Any more shadow, it'll just get cluttered down here and be a little hard to read. Okay, that leaves, the very next thing is the glass in the monocle. And here again, if you want to know what something looks like, find reference, see what it looks like. Because this is a stylized illustration, it's not photorealistic, it's kind of airbrush style illustration. I'm not going to worry about referencing exactly what it looks like. I know that when light hits a lens from up here, often a secondary reflection is a crescent shape down here, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And I think I can use this same piece of paper. I'm going to cover up the hole I made just a minute ago. I'm going to put tape on the back so that it doesn't get stuck on the drawing. And I believe I want this crescent-shaped reflection in the lens to go something like this. Let me look at that. I believe that'll do. want the bottom edge of this crescent to be fairly sharp, and I want the top edge of this crescent to be soft. So I'm actually going to do something to this mask to cause that to happen. I'm going to take my finger and curl this edge up just a little bit, so it won't lay flat on the paper, and it won't leave a real distinct edge. Does that make sense? Make sure it's in the right place. It'll be right about there. The color for that reflection, of course, is mostly white. I'm going to use one of my color chips here. Here's one that's already the right color, just about. And I'm going to see what color I'm going to get when I do white on top of that. I'm just testing. So yeah, I don't like that very much. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow oxide to it, just one drop. I believe that'll do. While I'm on it, I'm actually going to take a conventional brush, get some of this paint on there, and put my up-close reading glasses on, and do the edge of that reflection with a brush. Just want it to pop just a little bit more. While I'm here, I'm going to hit that reflection again, both of these. And a bit of reflection, just a spot there in the lens. There, I think that'll do. Okay, I believe I'm done with the monocle.